and welcome to Cloud Tech 10 for the 23rd of October 2017. I'm Mark and I'm going to tell you all the latest news about Microsoft Azure from the past week in 10 minutes or less. Azure Storage Explorer has been updated to provide support in preview for Azure Cosmos DB. With this update, you can manage Cosmos DB entities, data, stored procedures, triggers, and user-defined functions. You can see the Cosmos DB entities in your Azure subscriptions and drill down into the databases and collections. You can view the data stored in your database, including the ability to modify the data or add new entries. You can create new databases and new collections, as well as stored procedures, triggers, and user-defined functions. And you can easily jump to the Azure portal to manage your Cosmos DB instance directly from there. Bing Custom Search is now generally available. With Custom Search, you can create highly customized web searches, which can be useful when you need to provide more relevant results tailored for a particular application. Let's say I wanted to create a customized web search feature for a new website I was building about blockchain technology. I create a new custom search and then give it a name. Next, I add the URLs for websites that I want to be included in my custom search. I can either enter them manually or upload a list of URLs from a file. I can test my custom search to see what results are returned, and I can modify the search results to boost, demote, or block results. Then I can view the API endpoint details, an example endpoint call, and I can test the API to see what the results look like. There's also the option to create a hosted UI. You can choose a layout and a color scheme and customize attributes of the search page. You'll see the code you can embed in an existing web page to add this search experience to your website, or you can use the HTML endpoint to access your customized page. As well as custom search, version 7 of the Bing Search APIs is also available now. The Bing APIs cover web search, image search, video search, news search, auto-suggest, and spell check. Each of these APIs has its own web page that you can visit to see how each service works. For example, here is the video search page. I can enter a search phrase and then modify parameters, such as search for paid or free content, how recent the video is, and its duration, to see the effect that has on the results. The new cloud service map makes it easy to compare services in Azure and AWS. If you're planning a multi-cloud solution or migrating to Azure, this ebook lets you compare the cloud capabilities across the two platforms. It's broken down into 13 sections and covers the marketplace, compute, storage, networking and content delivery, database, analytics and big data, intelligence, Internet of Things, management and monitoring, mobile services, security, identity and access, developer tools, and enterprise integration. Each section is laid out in table formats so you can easily understand the description of each service and the naming used for that service in both Azure and AWS. You can download the cloud service map for Azure and AWS from aka.ms/AWS Azure Guide. The public preview of Azure Data Factory v2 has added a new visual monitoring feature, the first of several visual tools that will be added in the coming months. From an Azure Data Factory v2 instance, click on the Monitor and Manage link to start the monitoring tool. Here you see a simple list of previous pipeline runs, including the pipeline name, start time, duration, trigger, and status. You can click on the link under Actions to see the activity runs associated with a pipeline and check information such as the input and output. You can filter the list to only show specific pipeline runs, change the sort order, or change the columns that are displayed. There's also a guided tour feature to walk you through the tool. And there's a feedback link so you can help the Data Factory team to improve the product. Azure Event Grid now supports event hubs as a destination. Event Grid is a fully managed event routing service allowing you to route events from any source to any destination for any application. When operating at scale, it's possible that your target could become overwhelmed by the number of events being generated. Adding support for event hubs allows an event hub to handle a large volume of incoming event messages. You can then connect to the event hub to consume and process those messages as needed. The latest version of the Azure WebApps Kudu engine adds support for a new deployment method, ZipDeploy. Until now, you could deploy to Azure Web Apps using a variety of methods, including Git deployment, web deploy, or FTP. Kudu already features a zip API with which you can upload a zip file and expand its contents. However, this could get messy over time as old files are not cleaned up. With ZipDeploy, you can create a zip file of your deployment, upload it to Azure Web Apps via the Kudu API, then Kudu will handle the deployment cleanly, including deleting files left over from previous deployments or optionally running build configuration scripts. ZipDeploy works with Azure Web Apps, web jobs, and Azure Functions.